I think if I hear you call me Becky one more time, six-pack, I'm gonna pop your tops. All six of them.
Who are you?
Hey, this is Matt once again. Welcome back to another video. This is another paid request, this time from Joseph. For those interested in requesting pretty much any type of video, feel free to send it either directly to my PayPal or join my Patreon. Both links are down below in the info box, if you wish. But Joseph wanted me to talk about the polar bear team. And I wrote a few things down just to remember a couple stuff that I know I wanted to touch on. So I'm not fumbling around on my phone or such. Now, this came out in 1991. I guess it's based on a Norwegian folktale where you had a prince who this witch wanted, hey, I want your poon, I want your dick. But the prince is like, you can't have my dick. Now I'm teen dick. You can't have the teen dawn. So the witch is like, oh yeah, well I'm going to turn into a bitch. The witch bitch. So fuck this. You don't want my poontang? You can't have any poontang. It's against the law now. Because you don't want to be turned into a polar bear. And as a polar bear, you're not going to get any poontang. But you don't be human at night. But as a human at night, if someone sees your face, you're mine, bitch. You're my bitch. So the teen don't like that, of course. But if he does find a girl that's really to have polar bear dick for 7 years, sounds like a illegal porn film, then it's like, okay, you'll be turned back to normal. The acting, you could tell there's dubbing involved. The tale, I was never familiar with it. Maybe if you're more familiar with the Norwegian tale, maybe if you are Norwegian, they're not Swedish, Matt, they're Norwegian. I don't know if any of my viewers are Norwegian. If so, hello, say hi. I'd love to know. Maybe you're more into this story because you grew up with it. It's a fairy tale love story that I felt very emotionally detached. I did not care about the characters. Because the prince, I never felt any genuine care, love from him. It did feel like more, I know that's not the story's intention, but the way it's filmed is more, I need to do this because I'm tired of this fucking curse. The princess, she meets this polar bear who's talking, and I guess the one big note is Jim Henson's company worked on this. Now this came out in 1991, and I believe Jim Henson passed away around the same time, because I remember in 1991 you had Ninja Turtles 2, Secret of the Ooze, and that was dedicated to Jim Henson. So I don't know if Jim Henson himself or Jim Henson's company worked on this. And the polar bear, I thought looked cool, but not big budget. The polar bear moves stiff. But I mean, I'm a sucker for Jim Henson type of work. Even if it's not top dollar, top notch, I'm still a sucker for it. It was kind of cool to see. I mean, this is a type of film where one's kingdom is called Summerland, and one's called Winterland. Where's fucking Alice in Wonderland? The prince is a polar bear. And then as a polar bear, I guess he can't even talk right. Because as a polar bear, it's like, hello, are you the princess? I guess as a polar bear, you just talk all fucked up. I've never been a polar bear, so I would assume so. So then this princess meets the polar bear and goes, it's you. And the polar bear's like, here's my chain. And it looks like a chain that would be in the front of a rap album. The big fucking gold chain. As a gift. I will meet you in 3 days. To what? To give her polar bear dick? Is this a furry film? Or one of those gifs? Whatever the hell it's called? Like, already? Maybe she's secret furry. I don't know. Like, easy girl. Like, she's a very easy girl. She's like, okay, it's you. Because I looked at your eyeball and I saw something. Okay, I'm going to go with this polar bear. And this polar bear wants me to be his bride. And I just said yes. I'm like, wow, this girl's easy. If a polar bear can get her, I have a chance. And then what's funny is that the girl's dad... I don't believe this. We do not believe in superstition. And they try to kill the polar bear. But the polar bear is talking. You're not weirded out that a polar bear talks? Or is that normal in these parts? A polar bear talks. He talking, that's normal. But that he was a king? That's too much. And then everyone can hear that the polar bear is talking. But then it's funny because... the king is like, we don't believe in superstition. 10 minutes later, he's talking to the fucking birds and the wolves, going, tell me, give me info about my daughter. This is after the daughter goes off riding on the polar bear. Not that kind of riding, like, you know, riding. I'm like, so you could talk to the birds, you could talk to the wolves, you're the fucking Beastmaster. Not Beast Aftershave, Beastmaster. But... yeah, you're superstitious about a polar bear being a king, but you're fine with the polar bear talking, and you talk to birds, and you talk to the fucking wolves. Something's not adding up here straight. And the acting isn't that good. A lot of people just feel emotionally detached towards the dubbing. They start a fight, and like the king, I mean, the fathers come out with a sword. And the girl's like, stop. And then the king, I mean, I keep saying, not the king, the father just gives up. He's like, ah, and then he puts the sword in the ground, and he puts his hands on his hips. I'm like, wow, so everyone just gave up. It wasn't even a fight. And then the polar bear, when he puts his paws up and talking, it looks a bit silly. It makes me think of the Cowardly Lion. Put him up, put him up, put him up, when he has his paws up. Again... if you're a diehard Jim Henson fan, you want to see everything he's done, or you're really, really, really big into the Norwegian folk tale, those are only two reasons I can see watching this. Because she rides on the polar bear, goes back to his kingdom, and then I had to remember, oh, I guess she has to live there for 7 years without seeing his face. And when I mean his face, he could be there in the dark and half his face is shown. Because that's what happens like the first night back, is that he's sitting by her bed. This part is covered in shadow, but she sees this part of his face. So it's literally to see the entire face? So if he wears a mask, but you see his eyes... or his mouth, would that be the same thing? Is that much of a curse then? Again, it's like, oh shit, wait a minute, you see, oh, it's okay for her to see, and this would mean later on when she's like, I'm curious about what you look like, and this is like after 6 or so years. Lady, The first night you're able to see half of his face because we, the audience, can see half of his face. It's like we see this part. You saw his face. But so either someone fucked up in the writing, the direction, or something else. Someone didn't think things through. Half Shadow's fine. Then it cuts to a year later, and she has a baby. Then it cuts to, oh, the prince, the king, his mom is a ghost. And to make the kids invisible. Oh, I need to protect the baby in case the evil bitch witch gets him. So I'm going to take the baby, make it disappear, and make my son and his bride think their baby is dead. Don't you want to give him a message? Hey, I'm going to keep your baby safekeeping. Just don't tell the witch. You just say that. Take 5 minutes. If the girl's able to buy a fucking polar bear as a prince, I think she can buy this in less than a minute. Then like a year later it goes by again and she has twins. And then the mom does it again. I'm going to take both these babies and make them disappear. And not tell the mom, or tell them. Hey, you and you, see here. Okay, I'm a ghost lady. I'm going to make them invisible so I can keep them safe so this bitch doesn't take them. Wow. They didn't even take a minute. You know, some things are not thought through. And then it just does this. It's like there's not much of a natural flow to it. And yet, I don't care about... If you want to see a movie that's a good take on fairy tales, go watch The Princess Bride. The acting is better. The acting's more natural. It's got some fun, some genuine humor, interesting characters. My name is Lido Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Stop saying that. This doesn't, I mean, and then by the second half, you barely see the polar bear anymore, so even that is gone. And there's really not any other Jim Henson work. Okay, Jim Henson, but there's not really any other work to any other creatures, any other machinations or practical effects to look at. And if you want to see Jim Henson's work, go watch the first 2 Ninja Turtle films. Go watch the Dark Crystal. Not this. And then, apparently, 6 years and 9 months later, after that fateful meeting, I want to see my husband. Because then the guy gets pissed, is like, what the fuck? He doesn't say that, but I only had 3 months left. And he like throws her to the bed, as if to say, fuck you, bitch. Now I gotta marry her. He does throw her. It's like, now I only have 3 months left. I gotta marry her now. And then runs off. I'm like, oh, and went down the wrong pipe. Fuck. See what this movie does with me? I drank down the wrong pipe. Fuck. The movie almost killed me. It's not even one of the worst movies I've seen. Yeah, this is the one that almost kills me. Went down the wrong fucking pipe. And I buttoned my fucking shirt. I don't need my chest showing. Fucking shit. And then the rest of it is, she is befuddled. She meets this lady who is the teen's mom, but she doesn't tell the lady. There's the kids, but doesn't seem like the teller is the kids. We made you these magic boots. Go help your husband. She climbs up using the magic boots. This liquid is supposed to turn the teen to an asshole. She gets help from some people to change it. Then she uses this elixir to poison the witch in her gathering. And that was that could have been an opportunity to have some really cool Jim Henson effects with different goblins and ghouls and maybe witches with makeup effects. No. Again, wasted opportunity. You tell this is a very low budget by the production value of the castles and the locations. Very low budget. And the few bits of money they put into that polar bear, which again was not top notch. Everybody blows up. Witch is dead. Gets with the king, her husband. Gets with her kids. Everything's happy. The end. Fuck. So, like I said, other than getting some, it looks kind of cool in a low budget way of the polar bear, but it does move stiff, and at times does look laughable. Waste of talent for Jim Henson's company to work on this. The acting, the characters, just emotionally detached is the best way to put it. And the dubbing, the production values are low. The flow of the plot, especially in the second half, it's not natural because we'll jump to a year, then we'll jump to another year, and then we jump to like 5 more years. And like I said, there's many other films that deal with the fairy tale aspect. Shrek. I mean, if you want to have Shrek, if you want to have a fairy tale about a person who's cursed and they're a monster, Cameron Diaz's character, but then at certain points they're not a monster, go watch Shrek. And I liked the first Shrek. It's not one of my favorites, but I liked it. I believe I reviewed it. Unless they're gone. But I liked the first Shrek. I think I didn't mind Shrek 2. 3 and 4 wasn't really a fan of. But I don't think I'm minding the first 2 Shreks. Go watch those. Go watch The Princess Bride. Go watch other stuff. Or go watch The Neverending Story. Although it still isn't bad as Neverending Story 3. Although that one, to be fair, that one tried more, sadly, compared to this. This was more dull and boring. That one at least tried to... So I don't know. Actually, I take that back. I don't know which is worse. Because Neverending Story, it's sad to say, that even tried more with its production value than this. Again, this one was more blasé, bland, dull, and boring. So maybe I take that back. Maybe this is worse than Neverending Story 3. Because which would I rather watch? Neither. But you had a gun to your head, pull the trigger. Well, you can't have that option, okay? At least Neverending Story 3 gave me more to talk about. It gave me more material to talk about, unlike this. So there you go. Yeah, the Polar Bear Teen. If you liked it, Joseph, that's cool. If you grew up with it, that's cool. I don't see it. It looks like a made-for-TV production, and there's even better versions of that. Go watch an episode of Hercules, The Legendary Journeys, or something. But with that said, thanks for watching. Take care. We'll see you guys later. Bye-bye.